Clambake was released in 1967 and directed by Arthur H. Nadel. It stars Elvis Presley, Shelley Fabares, Will Hutchins, and Bill Bixby. In this video, I'm going to review the movie and then tell you about a scene that was too hot for TV, at least in my parents' eyes. Elvis plays Scott Hayward, son of a Texas oil tycoon. Tired of his privileged life, and to the disappointment of his father, he unexpectedly sets off to Florida to try and prove himself without the help of his money or his family name. After pulling into a Hayward gas station, he meets Tom Wilson, played by Will Hutchins. Tom is the new water ski instructor at a seaside hotel in Miami Beach. After a grass is greener conversation, Scott and Tom trade identities just like the Prince and the Pauper, and set off for the hotel to see how the other half lives. For most of the movie, Scott is known as Tom to everyone, and Tom is known as Scott. To avoid confusion, I'll refer to the characters by their true identities throughout this review. On the way to the hotel, Scott and Tom engage in a musical number. Tom's part is obviously recorded by someone other than Will Hutchins. Tom arrives in Scott's Corvette Stingray and uses the Hayward name to secure a luxury suite. We soon meet J.J. Jameson, not to be confused with this guy. Jameson is a wealthy owner of a lingerie line and winner of the past 3 speedboat regattas held at the hotel. Surrounded by a crowd of girls, Jameson describes his latest boat race championship and walks off with one of them. Scott arrives on Tom's motorcycle and takes up residence as the water ski instructor. Diane, one of the girls from Jameson's crowd, talks Scott into taking her out for a lesson right away. She turns out to be an expert skier, and her aim was to capture Jameson's attention. She succeeds, but when she tries to reel him in later, he walks off. Scott shows up, and he takes Diane for a motorcycle ride. She confesses to him that she's trying to land someone with money, and assumes Scott, who she believes is Tom, is doing the same thing. Scott sings a song to her before they return to the hotel. Scott meets Sam Burton, who owns a boat that was damaged during the previous year's race. Scott takes Diane out skiing once more. Jameson spots her again, and this time takes her back to the hotel for drinks. Scott and Tom encounter a group of kids on a playground. One girl is afraid to use the sliding board, but after Scott sings a song about confidence, she slides down and becomes an expert dancer. Diane arrives with Jameson, and Scott realizes he can't compete with Jameson's money as long as he's pretending to be Tom. Still wanting to prove himself, he decides to enter the upcoming speedboat race. Scott offers Sam $10 for his damaged speedboat, intending to repair it and enter. Sam offers to give the boat to Scott, and they will split the prize money if Scott wins. The hotel throws a clambake party, and Scott breaks into another musical number. He then meets up with Tom and his new girlfriend Sally, as well as Jameson and Diane. He tells Jameson he plans to enter the race. Sam checks in on Scott, who determines the old speedboat was covered with a faulty resin. Assuming you're still with me, buckle up, because the plot gets even more ridiculous from here. We suddenly learn that Scott is an engineering and chemistry genius and had developed a superior resin some time ago. However, Scott's formula softens when exposed to water. Sam just happens to have a laboratory, and Scott performs some experiments to perfect the formula. Diane drops by on the way to see Jameson. Scott gives her some advice, and this leads to another musical number. Once the new resin is completed, Scott applies it to the boat. Tom arrives with a group of girls to help him finish. We then get another musical number that makes you wonder what inspired this sequence 11 years later. Scott's father tracks down his son at the hotel, and they make amends. Later, Jameson makes his moves on Diane, and she has second thoughts. Scott interrupts, and Diane leaves for her room. We then have one more musical number before the final act. Race day arrives, with Scott and Jameson leading the others. Does Scott win the race? Does he get together with Diane? I won't spoil that for you, but you can probably figure it out. Keep your eyes open for the following. Aside from Elvis, who I think had some sort of musical career, there are several other notable faces in this movie. Shelley Fabares got her big break as the daughter Mary on The Donna Reed Show, released a cover of Johnny Angel in 1962 that reached number 1, and starred as Christine Armstrong on Coach. She also appeared with Elvis in 2 other movies, Girl Happy and Spin Out. Bill Bixby had just finished his run on My Favorite Martian, and went on to star in The Courtship of Eddie's Father and The Incredible Hulk. Will Hutchins played the lead role on Sugarfoot, and also starred as Dagwood on the short-lived Blondie TV series. Coincidentally, he also passed away at the age of 94 as I was working on this review. James Gregory has a long list of credits, including Detective Luger on Barney Miller. Hal Peary is best known for playing the Great Gildersleeve on radio and in the movies. Director Arthur H. Nadel would later work on a few 70s Saturday morning television shows, including Shazam, The Secrets of Isis, and Fat Albert. He also created the series Jason of Star Command. If you look closely, you might spot Lee Majors in the background of this scene. He was appearing on The Big Valley at the time, and would later star on The $6 Million Man and The Fall Guy. Corbin Burnson, one of the boys in this scene, would go on to star on LA Law and Psych, and appear in several of the Major League movies. On a personal note, he also appeared in my favorite episode of Star Trek The Next Generation, Deja Q. So, is the movie any good? If you're a big Elvis fan, you'll have fun with this. There's no denying that the plot becomes more ridiculous as the movie progresses, so don't expect a grounded and believable story. I enjoyed it for what it was, and it gets a 6.5 out of 10 from me. At the start of this video, I promised you a personal story, so here we go. When I was a teenager, my family went to visit some friends for the day, and Clambake was playing on the TV in the background. Suddenly, this scene came up.
Are you all right?
No, turn around.
What's the matter?
I lost my top.
Oh, good timing. Jameson's swimming over here.
Go back, please, go back. Go away, go
Hey,
away.
that was really some pretty tricky skiing you were trying there.
I wasn't trying.
Huh?
I lost my balance. Will you please go away?
Her balance wasn't all she lost.
My parents were shocked that something this explicit would air on television and asked our friends if they had cable. As we all know, cable TV was going to be the downfall of society, and this was just one more example of that. Several years later, my parents folded and we got basic cable hooked up, but that's a story for another day. Thanks for watching my video. If you'd like to see more content like this, hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell. To access my retro t-shirt store, check the links in the description. Thanks for all your support.
I hope you know how to take care of yourself. I call karate.
Oh, shut up.